With all of these mods or add-ons to the bike, this armor, do you need crash bars? Do you really need crash bars? I see a lot of guys that don't run them. I don't know. What if you're in a big rut and you can't get out of the rut because you got crash bars? Out the gate, went with the AXP bash plate. I like that this covers the water pump. There aren't many bash plates that have that. AXP seems to be a decent brand. Like, you're not cheaping out. I mean, this wasn't cheap. One thing I really didn't expect was how plastic it is. Like, I knew it was gonna be plastic, but I thought it was like some special plastic that didn't feel or look plastic. But this is definitely plastic. I mean, it's pretty thick though. I mean, I don't know if you can see from back there, but it's pretty thick. It looks like it's segments that's just glued together or bonded somehow. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's definitely going on the bike. There's a rumor going around that this thing can be tough to install. There's alignment issues, but you can drill out the holes on this, make them bigger to kind of give yourself more tolerance. The hardware pack is a bit intimidating, but I think we can get her done. This is the Clancy Racing AXP bash plate. This is their kit for the AXP bash plate. Now, these instructions were pretty much impossible to follow. They are bad all over the place, but I think I got it figured out. I tried to use the scan code to go out and scan for instructions, get some help. No help. I ordered my kit from Clancy Racing. As far as shipping goes, I ordered it one day and it arrived like 3 days later or 4 days later. They're out in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So it was a really quick turnaround and I got it for under $300, so that was nice. Part of the problem with these instructions is they list you all the parts, other very not helpful descriptors, and then you start reading the instructions and then it turns out this part number doesn't even exist on the part number list. This part number I assume is backwards. They've somehow gotten it backwards. Get out of here. And they're also using cap head screws, whereas they didn't send any cap head screws. But I think I've got this figured out. Let's get out of here, Cat. You're on my stuff now. Come on, get out of here. For a toolkit, you're gonna need just a handful of tools, I think. I've got a T25 hex. I got a T25 small socket wrench, a deep well 10 mil wrench, and some Loctite. I think that's pretty much all we're gonna need. So, if you look at this bash plate, got a couple of mounting points. It's duplicated on the other side. You've also got your mount here. It's just kind of on both sides here. There's mounting points here. I'm not sure what all these extra holes are. Get out of here. I did not measure these. I'm assuming based off of what came in the instructions. These are your 25 millimeters. These are your 30. These are your 35s. And these two are your 40s. And this long one is your 70. That's the one that's gonna hold this guy on. So there's some prep work on the plate here and some prep work on the bike before we can even install it. First thing we're gonna wanna do is take these, I don't know what you call them, insert washers or something. I have no idea. Insert nuts, I don't know. But you're gonna wanna get them in. Get out of here, go. Push those in. I think it's fairly easy to figure out. Just make sure you push them in and get them aligned right. As far as I know, there's gonna be some wiggling that needs to happen. Get those shoved in. Make sure they're kind of aligned where you want them to. And we can do a little finessing just to make sure those are in there straight. First thing, what we're gonna have to do is take these little blocks, get them mounted on these little spaces on the inside here. We're gonna be using the 35s with the washers and a couple of nuts. All right, so we have an oblong hole and a regular round hole. Should be pretty obvious on the plate here. you're gonna wanna come through the back or the front of the plate because it's recessed there. Now I chose these screws because they're the longest ones with the sunken head. Throw a washer on there and you know, they could have done a better job of grinding this down. I may try to cut that down because it prevents the spacer from sitting flush. It won't sit flush, so we're gonna try to give that a whack. All right, we'll try this again. Come through the back, get our washer on there, get a nut on there. What are you doing, kitty? I can't work under these conditions. All right, we're gonna do the same for our other side. Just push the kitties out of the way. And I'm just kinda grinding. Kid, don't do that. Just kind of chipping away at the raised bit here. You know, as far as plastic goes, I mean, I can't say that this is terribly hard, but you know, my knife is also very sharp. That pushed in, a washer on it, and a nut. All right, this is what it looks like in here. You know, I heard rumors that you would have to drill these holes out bigger to make things work. I'm assuming that they went ahead and took that liberty. It feels like there's room to work. We're just gonna gently tighten them in case they need to adjust once we get it on the bike. And I'm gonna have to mock this up to the bike, make sure everything lines up, take it down, and then tighten this stuff. All right, that's what that's gonna look like with those guys. And as you can see through that hole, you can see through that hole. And I think these are gonna act as spacers. I hope, because there's a big nut on the end. The next thing we have to do is get this piece on the bike. Once this piece is on the bike, then we can mount up. I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. For getting this piece, we've already installed those little inserts where our screws are gonna have somewhere to bite onto. We're gonna take this 70mm bolt, get a collar on it. Okay, let's get a collar on it. And then we're also gonna want another collar, the final nut. Better throw some Loctite in there. All right, let's go. Oh, all right. Should apologize if this channel feels like one of those, you know, install only where a guy princesses up his bike and you never get to see him ride it. I assure you that's not what we're gonna be doing here. You're definitely gonna see me put all of these parts to the test. And that's kind of the thing, you know, it's if you're gonna ride a big bike, an adventure bike, and you plan to do adventure type stuff, it makes sense to build your bike out to your comfort level. And that's pretty much what we're doing. I'm getting this bike built out to where I'm comfortable riding it, feeling protected on the bike, making sure I'm protecting the bike, and then we'll try it out, you know. Some of the stuff might work, some of it might not, but we're gonna see. We're gonna give it a go. That's an important part of adventure bike ownership, is making sure your bike fits you. Let's get into it. So this guy, I don't know, we're gonna try to come from the backside. Whoa, that's a really long bolt. That's almost into the exhaust pipe there. Yeah, this is not gonna be great. Hey, better. I try this way. I can't see nothing. Okay. Maybe this way. This just kind of dangles. It never tightens down on that. So yeah, it's a good idea to Loctite her up. Again, we don't want to over tighten our bolts. We just want to tighten the common sense, you know? Yeah, it's got a little dangle there. All right, Looking good so far. Now all we gotta do is get her on there. I think we're in a good place. Probably go ahead and Loctite these bits just because we're gonna be mounting her up. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Where's my screwdriver? Are you it? You are it, aren't you? We are gonna put a bit of cool tape on here just because I saw a video, the old install video, I guess someone had of the pipe, and it came with some heat shield tape. I don't know how hot the pipe's gonna be running, but I don't want a situation where, on a hot day running for a while, that pipe gets so hot that it starts to soften this plastic. And then I do go over, say a rock or go up on a log, the plastic is so soft that it deforms or cracks or does something else weird that I don't want. So I think the heat shielding was a good call out. So this stuff's apparently rated for like 400 degrees or something. I don't know. I got rid of the packaging, but I looked at it. It's like 400, I think, degrees Fahrenheit. For all of you non-Americans out there, there's a hole there. Cut a notch out for that hole. Yeah, we'll probably get more notchy on this side. I don't know if that's gonna help or if it'll work. But like I said, man, you're building your bike out to your comfort level, to where you feel comfortable. That makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, I think. I'm okay with it. Get a strip up here. I can dig that. Something like that. And I don't think there's any kind of special magic to this. I'm just putting cool tape on the plastic to potentially prevent the plastic from softening and deforming on impact. We won't know if it works, but it makes me feel better. If you got a good situation, you should be able to see straight through that hole. We gotta see if we can get her mounted. Let's see if we can't get her loaded up here. Oh, is this gotta come off? I think that's for sure gotta come off. There it is.
Twenty minutes later.
So this is dumb. That's not going in because there's a funky angle on there. It's like, what do? Do I shave down the block or what? Or is it because of what I got going on the other side? This is about to really fast become a pain in the ass. That's gotta get filed down or something. I might just get this going and then come back to you guys because this might take a while. I had to come in and file and power sanded these down, but I kind of got them a better kind of angle. They were bad. I went ahead and put some cool wrap. I don't know, dude, it's just me. This is to my comfort level or OCD level, whichever it is. Might not be a bad idea. Yeah, I went ahead and did that. I'll probably drill out these holes a bit wider because I feel like there wasn't enough wiggle room. We should be able to get her started. I see you in there. Come on, you're the first one on. Does this even go in there? It goes in there quite nicely. We're gonna get this bolt to go. It's the last thing we do. This is gonna work. Fuck. I'm gonna drill this out some more. I could just get it started. I can't even get it started. I'm gonna need a washer for the washer.
One eternity later.
I'm definitely gonna need a washer for my washer. That thing on the other side was a pain to install. On this side, I had to drill that way out. That ended up having to be drilled out so big that I put a bigger washer on there. The thing is, I should have done it on this side too, because we're getting a little bit of dig in up there. It's wanting to dig in to the plastic. But I'm exhausted with this thing. It was so much work. Fitment looks okay. The linkage protector, the protector is pulled right up to the linkage. And we can see that the bar back there that we use to secure it, there's a pretty big gap, so the screws had to suck it up, and it's pretty much on there. You're not gonna be able to get to your down two bolts with this thing on. We've got some little contact up here. Maybe that's what I'll use the little cushy for. You know, down in here, we've got pretty good clearance from the pipe. I still like the heat shielding idea. I probably should have gone further across the top. I think this will be good because, you know, air will be hitting there, so it should be fine. But yeah, other than that, looks pretty decent. Now, the fitment of this thing is definitely a nightmare. I would probably suggest going with a different plate just because of the fitment issues. And there's some contact here. Oh, I guess not anymore. That's what she looks like. So what do I think? What do I think about all the nice CNC stuff and the AXP badge plate? Well, I gotta tell you, these things have held up, still solid. No complaints really on the nice CNC stuff. The bash plate, I really don't have any complaints. It's doing its job. It's a lot quieter than the stock plate. It's not tinging and dinging and ringing. And I've done some pretty gravelly stuff with it. So far it seems to be doing a good job. It gets pretty dirty up front, but that's okay. But everything else seems to be doing their job. Pegs are good. You know, one thing I could complain about the pegs are they stick out so far that when I'm duck walking the bike, sometimes I kick them with my shin. And I guess now I've gotten to a point where I'm duck walking farther out. So I've kind of adjusted to it, but don't really like it because I'm already tiptoeing, and to move my legs farther out decreases my ability to reach the ground even farther. So that's my biggest complaint with these. We'll see how it turns out. I could go back to the standard foot pegs, but we'll see. The chain guide, it's still solid in there. It's doing its job fairly well, and you know, I hope it's protecting the chain. You know, front of that bash plate will get really gritty, but that's okay. It's protecting all the stuff inside, and that's what we want it to do. Headlight shield, as you can see, it's taken all of the bugs. And on this side, as you can see, bash plate covers our water pump cover, but we've got a nice CNC part on there too. All this stuff seems to be holding up. It's getting used. Yeah, our mounts are holding up, and everything looks good. So yeah, that concludes that bit on the nice CNC parts and the AXP badge plate. So I guess it really doesn't matter what I think, it just matters what you think. How are you gonna protect your bike? Crash bars or none? All right, peace out.